Hi there. Welcome into another episode of the OUA Basketball Show. My name's Griffin Porter. If you don't know me, I'm a journalist. I've been covering OUA basketball for several years now, and I host this show every week. So come on by, check it out every single week in this YouTube feed here. A little bit of a change-up for you guys this week. We are going guestless. I was sick and tired of sharing the spotlight. I wanted it all to myself. No, a joke, of course. I love our guests. They're the best part of the show for me. But I just wanted to give us some more time this week to focus on the on-court action that's been happening so far. We don't get a ton of time to talk each week, so I just wanted to make sure that we could go in-depth on a couple schools that are really having good seasons that I want to talk about. But of course, as always, let's start with last weekend's games, and the big ones were Friday night in Kingston. Big statement wins for the Gales. 4 undefeated teams clashed over the 2 games Friday night in Kingston, and Queens walked out with both victories, men's and women's, against the visiting Ravens. Carleton still was ranked number 1 in the men's basketball rankings by U Sports this week, which I think raised some eyebrows on Queens campus there. The Arc, a buzz, I'm sure, with that knowledge, but hey, you got the W, Queens. That's what's important there. Take solace in that. And speaking of the Gales, how about Julia Chadwick? She's averaging 16 and 10 on the season, and in that win over the Ravens on Friday night, she had 18 points and 18 rebounds. Really getting it done there. There's some shoes to fill in that Queens front court, and Julia Chadwick doing a great job so far. But we've talked about the Gales a fair amount on this show, and like I said, the point of this episode is to go in depth. I gave up the best part of the show, the guests, so that you and I could have more time to talk about the basketball. That's what we're here to do, talk about the basketball that we have seen so far this year. So another team I want to focus on right now are the Waterloo Warriors. Undefeated Waterloo Warriors on the women's side. Now, they went 9-5 last year, so this isn't out of nowhere, but it's a step in the right direction, obviously, and a big part of it's been guard Vanessa Hughes, shooting 40% from the field to start the year. 20 points a game for Vanessa Hughes. She's been fantastic, and, I think that Waterloo can keep this up, but she's going to have to be a big part of that. I got faith in you, Vanessa. Keep going out there and just bombing those threes. Who doesn't love to see a player just going out there and knocking down threes left, right, and center? The Warriors beat Brock by 31 points last week. I hear you, St. Catharines. I know that the Badgers are not at full strength just yet. There's still some holes to fill there. But to me, you play Brock and you win by 31. That's a statement game. That's a statement win. I think the Waterloo Warriors are absolutely for real. If we move over to the men's side, we already gave some love to the undefeated Gales, number 4 in the country. But let's talk about those Lakehead Thunderwolves. Like the Warriors, it's not out of nowhere like last year. Like Lakehead went to the OUA quarterfinals in those Wilson Cup playoffs, but they've taken another step forward this year, and I don't think that this team gets the attention it deserves and the credit it deserves. You got to start the discussion with Michael Okafor. Last weekend in the win in Thunder Bay, they were chanting MVP when they beat Laurier for Michael Okafor, and you know what? I don't think they're being unreasonable. Some stiff competition. We're off to seeing some players off to great starts in the OUA. But we saw Michael Okafor get a taste of pro ball with the Hamilton Honey Badgers in the CBL, and I think that's really paying off for him this year. He's taken a step in the right direction. The Thunderwolves have taken a step in the right direction. Great coaching up there at Lakehead University, and I think we saw it in full display in that upset win over the Ottawa GGs. Lakehead, absolutely for real, hoping to watch a lot more of them this year and see if they can improve on last year's playoff run and really go deep. And one other team I wanted to take a bit of a deep dive on, men's side once again, the University of Toronto Varsity Blues are 5-1. They've already matched their win total from last season. They went 5-10 last year, so out of the gate like a rocket are the U of T Varsity Blues. Even though they started 0-1, they lost to the Badgers, and now they've rattled off 5 wins in a row, 2 big wins over TMU, and a W against York as well as a part of this winning streak. So U of T right now, the undisputed kings of basketball in Toronto. Really big shout out to them. They're playing some really fun to watch basketball. Keep your eye on that St. George campus, folks. I know TMU gets the attention when it comes to basketball in Toronto, but don't look past St. George. St. George campus, there's some good basketball being played. That's going to do it for this week's show, guys. A little bit of a deep dive, like I said. I hope you guys liked it. There's a lot of great basketball happening in Ontario University athletics at the moment, to use the longhand. So if you want us to talk about a team, you keep waiting every week for us to talk about a team here on the OUA Basketball Show, and we just haven't had time yet, please let us know in the comments, because there are so many good teams and so many good players off to a good season. So if you're out there waiting, let me know, and hopefully in a close to now episode, we can talk about the team you guys want to hear about. In terms of games to watch this weekend, I think Brock and York women is going to be a good game Friday night. Lauren Golding's been killing it for the Lions once again this year. But of course, the really big one is going to be the undefeated Western Mustangs, a team who has not gotten a ton of chat on this show, at least, to start the year. So going to have to rectify that hopefully next week, because we'll certainly be talking about the result either way when they play the University of Ottawa GGs. I think that one's got the makings of like an instant classic. Really excited for Western against Ottawa. And for the men, you've got undefeated Windsor going on the tough Ottawa weekend road trip. They play Carleton on Friday and Ottawa on Saturday. So you got the undefeated Windsor Lancers going up against teams who are no longer undefeated, Carleton and Ottawa, both coming off a loss. You know they're going to be angry. They don't like losing in the city of Ottawa in basketball. So Windsor's got a tough road ahead of them, but I think the Lancers are more than up to the task. They are looking fantastic to start this season. We've also got TMU playing Nipissing this weekend. That one, I think there's something there. We got two teams who are both better than their record, in my opinion, and both of them could use a win just in terms of the standings and I think in terms of the morale. We had Mackenzie Robinson on last week, of course, talking about you're not looking at the standings too much this early in the year, but I do think that it's still nice. Still nice to get the wins. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the games this weekend. You can find them all on OUA.tv as always, and we will catch you next week right here on the OUA Basketball Show. My name's Griffin Porter. We'll have a great guest back next week. Not going to say who it is just yet. Going to leave you in suspense. But enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the basketball, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again.